What's your current level of spoken French? Let's find out. I'm going to ask you 30 questions. Keep track of how many you get right, and at the end of this video, you'll have an idea on how prepared you are to understand and speak real French. This isn't your typical textbook French test. We're going to test your understanding of the kind of French you'll actually hear in France. C'est parti! Let's start out with 10 questions about some simple part of spoken French. You will get 3 possible answers each time. Pick the correct one. Ready? How can you say hi, how are you in everyday French with a close friend? Salut, ça va? Bonsoir, comment allez-vous? Or, oh là là, qu'est-ce que tu vas? Do you know? The answer is A. Salut, ça va. Answer B is too formal. We use vous for the plural and for someone we don't know very well. Salut, ça va is the most common way to say hi, how are you to a friend. Salut, ça va?
Salut, ça va?
Which sentence means that's great, that's cool in everyday French? C'est panda, c'est chouette, or c'est fouine? It's c'est chouette. Une chouette is an owl, une fouine is a weasel, and un panda is a panda bear. But only answer B is also a casual way to say that's cool.
C'est chouette là, non?
What's the informal way to ask where are you in spoken French, like on the phone? T'es où? Toi tu? Te quoi? We use t'es où in spoken French. The correct written French question is où es-tu? But in real life, we don't really switch subject and verb, and tu often loses the u before a vowel. So we say t'es où? T'es où?
Christine, t'es où?
How would we say I saw Julien yesterday in spoken French? Hier, je vis Julien. Hier, je voyais Julien. Or, hier, j'ai vu Julien. We would use si. Yes, it's the one with le passé composé, which is how we talk about an action in the past in everyday French. The passé simple in answer A sounds way too formal and poetic for this, and l'imparfait in answer B is used for longer actions in the background. What's the common informal way we say I don't know in spoken French? Je sais pas, je ne sais, or je ne sais pas. We use answer A. Answer C is correct, especially in written French for your exams, for example. But when speaking, we almost always cut the ne from negations. Answer B drops the pas instead, which makes it sound even more formal than written French. What does ça marche mean in everyday French? It's coming up soon, just wait for a minute. It's so cold today. Or, okay, that works. C is correct. Ça marche means literally it's walking, but it's the French equivalent of that works for me or sounds good. You will hear this constantly in everyday conversation.
Ok, ça marche.
Between friends, how would you say we want to dance? Would you say on veut danser, on voulons danser, or nous voulons danser? The right answer is A. In spoken French, nous is often too formal. We use on instead. And for conjugating verbs, we do it like il and elle at the third person. What's the simple French way to say I don't know? But maybe you do, maybe someone else does. Je sais pas, toi pas. Moi, je sais pas. Toi ne, je sais pas. It's B. We add the pronoun to add weight to the subject, like toi, tu, or lui, il. Someone who talks about himself a lot can even be called un moi, je.
Moi, je.
What does j'en peux plus mean in spoken French? I want more of that. I can't keep going for a long time. Or I can't take it anymore. C is correct. It's used for frustration or exhaustion. Here, plus means anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't take it anymore. So the S of plus is silent.
Moi, j'en peux plus, j'en peux plus, j'en peux plus. Alors bon, voilà.
What is I'm so excited for tonight in French? Je suis très excitée par ce soir. Je suis tellement excitante pour ce soir. Or, j'ai trop hâte pour ce soir. You should use C. In colloquial French, we often use trop to mean très. Okay? But most of all, excité and excitante are sometimes related to arousal. So in everyday French, you wouldn't use it for looking forward to something. And congratulations, you finished your first round of questions about real spoken French. How did you do? Did you keep track of your correct answers? Did you learn something new? If you answered 5 or more questions correctly, you already know some basics of everyday French. If you got 8 or more right, you're probably at a good level and you're ready for more intermediate level questions. Whatever your score, you can keep going and you will learn even more about everyday French in the next 2 rounds of questions. If you struggled with these questions, even though you usually had good grades in your French lessons, it's absolutely normal. It's not because your French is bad. No. It's because unfortunately what you've been learning years ago was textbook French instead of the French we actually use to communicate with each other in France. The next 10 questions test your understanding of more nuanced spoken French. These include cultural references, subtle grammar points, and expressions that even intermediate students often miss. When someone sneezes and you want to say bless you, what do most French people actually say? Que Dieu te bénisse, à tes souhaits, or bonne santé? À tes souhaits is what you will actually hear. It literally means to your wishes. We say à vos souhaits for someone we don't know very well. Option A is a literal translation of God bless you, but we don't use it in French. Imagine, you're supposed to get up and do things, but you don't feel like you have the energy to do it. You're overtaken by casual laziness. How do we say that in everyday French? J'ai la flemme, j'ai la flamme, j'ai la flume. A is correct. In casual French, la flemme is laziness in the moment. It feels like feeling warm or cold or hungry, except it's when you couldn't be bothered to do something. When you're in France, you need to know a few words of politeness like s'il te plaît for please to a friend. How do we often pronounce that in fast-spoken French? S'plaît, s'il te plaît, s'il te plaît. Do you know? The answer is si, s'il te plaît, s'il te plaît. We often cut the il pronoun when it's not for a person or a thing, just an impersonal pronoun, like here. It happens in a few other expressions as well. S'il te plaît, s'il te plaît. If a French person uses ça roule as an answer, what does it mean? Something is coming up fast? Life is difficult? Or everything's fine? Answer C is correct. Ça roule is a more casual, informal way to say ça marche that we saw earlier. And we also use it to say everything is going well. If you hear French people mentioning la bouffe, what are they probably talking about? Wine, food, or books? Answer B is correct. La bouffe is slang for la nourriture, food. We tend to use it for food we don't respect much, like a quick meal or fast food. Don't use it for a homemade meal from a French friend. What's spoken French slang for that's amazing, that's crazy? C'est ouf, c'est chou, or c'est pou? A is correct. C'est ouf is verlan slang for c'est fou. It's crazy. You see, the F at the beginning of fou got pushed to the other side. That's verlan slang for you, where sounds are switched around. You'll definitely hear some of that when making new friends in France. Meanwhile, c'est chou means that's cute. Very useful as well. What does je m'en fiche mean in French? I don't care, I'm on it, or I have to go, I'm leaving. Do you know? A is correct again. Je m'en fiche is a common expression in French. Je m'en moque is a bit less informal, while je m'en fous is more slang, a bit rude, and much more widely used.
Je m'en fous! Je m'en fous! Je m'en fous!
Let's say you are at a nice French party, people are having fun, you like the music and the conversation. How would you say there is a good atmosphere here in informal French? Y a-t-il une bonne atmosphère? C'est de la bonne couche? Or y a une bonne ambiance? C is correct. Here, ya is the casual pronunciation for il y a, there is, where we cut the il, remember, like we saw in Steuple earlier. Don't write it this way in a written exam, please, okay? That's only everyday spoken French. Also, une ambiance is not slang, it's a general atmosphere, the animation of a place or an event. How do you say I have to leave in spoken French? Sauf qui peut, faut que je parte, dois que partir. Do you know? The answer is B. It's informal for il faut que je parte, where we cut the impersonal il pronoun again. It's one of the expressions where we use the subjunctive. You could also say faut que j'y aille with the verb aller, to go, or in another way, je dois partir. Je dois partir. You call a French friend on the phone and they say, je suis en train de bosser. What does it mean? They're training with their boss, they're on a train and can't speak loudly, or they're working. And the correct answer is C. There is a lot of slang to mean work in French, like le boulot or bosser. Here we use the structure être en train plus a verb, meaning currently doing the thing. It's not about training or being on a train. It's a tense called le présent progressif. Nobody in France knows this name, but we use that a lot in everyday French.
Un peu vite là parce que je suis en train de bosser si tu veux.
Okay, excellent work. You have completed the intermediate section. If you answered 6 or more questions correctly, your French is likely at B1 or a B2 level. If you got 8 or more right, you might enjoy the challenge of the next section. And even if you manage to get all your answers wrong, who knows? You might shine now and learn a ton. Our final 10 questions will test your mastery of a deeper French slang for really advanced students. But don't worry, every wrong answer means you're learning something new about your everyday spoken French. What's the meaning of ça me prend la tête? It's bothering me a lot, it's warm and comfortable, really cozy, or I'm a bit drunk. Can you guess? It's A. Prendre la tête, à quelqu'un is literally taking the head from someone, but it's a slang expression for something that's frustrating or really annoying. On the other hand, prendre la tête de quelque chose means being in charge of something. You will probably make the difference with the context between Martin a pris la tête de l'entreprise, Martin took the head of the company, he's in charge of the company, and Martin a pris la tête à tous ses collègues. He was really annoying to all his colleagues. Let's say you're waiting for a French friend to go to an event together. They call you and say, Désolé, je suis grave à la bourre. What does it mean? I'm totally lost, I'm really late, or I'm very drunk already. It's be. Here, grave is youth slang for very or a lot. And à la bourre is informal French for être en retard, running late. Now, to be fair, it does sound like je suis bourré, which is slang for je suis saoul, I'm drunk. But that's different.
Je suis grave à la bourre.
What's a common French informal way to say I'm hungry? J'ai un loup, j'ai la famine, or j'ai la dalle. C is correct. For j'ai faim, I'm hungry, we can say j'ai la dalle. I have the slab. Or other expressions like j'ai les crocs, I have fangs. Or even the more old-fashioned j'ai une faim de loup, I'm hungry like a wolf.
Bon, j'ai la dalle, moi.
What's French slang for I'm exhausted? Je suis crevé, je suis percé, or je suis perdu. A. Crevé is slang for dead. So je suis crevé is like I'm dead tired. It's the less elegant way to say je suis épuisé, I'm exhausted, which is a bit formal, or simply je suis très fatigué, I'm really tired. What does ça caille ici mean in informal French? It's really cold here, it's raining a lot, or I can't hear a thing. It's A. Ça caille is slang for il fait très froid. It's really cold here. What does elle est canon mean in informal French? She's really mean, she's really nice, or she's stunning. C is correct. Canon is slang and it means hot, beautiful, stunning. You can use it for men as well and for places even, like c'est canon ici. This place is amazing.
En tout cas, bravo, hein, c'est canon. Hein.
Okay, here is a tricky one. Which one of these expressions mean something different than the two others? Il s'est barré, il s'est planté, il s'est cassé. Did you get it? It's B. Se barrer and se casser are both informal French for partir, s'en aller, to leave, while se planter is slang for rater, to mess up and to fail. We've seen ça prend la tête before, but there are easier ways to say the same thing. What's a verlan slang expression for it's annoying? C'est chum, c'est teubé, or c'est relou. C'est relou, answer C. Relou is verlan for lourd or heavy, informal French for annoying as well. While chum is the verlan for moche, it means ugly in French, and teubé is verlan for bête, that means stupid. You see, verlan just switches the sounds around and sometimes fudges them a little.
Ah mais là du coup c'est relou madame.
Let's say you are in a French conversation between several people. You're talking fast, you kind of follow along, and then you catch your friend saying clearly, Tu parles? What does it mean? Yeah, I don't believe it. It's your time to talk, or you talk too much. A is correct. Tu parles means literally you are speaking, but on its own, it's mostly used to mean as if, or yeah, right. It can be playful or more aggressive depending on the tone. Finally, what does t'inquiète mean? It's not going great, you're amazing, or don't worry about it. And the answer is si.
Ouais, t'inquiète, ça va, ça va.
T'inquiète means don't worry about it. I will deal with it. It's okay. It's a bit of youth slang, but I love this expression for its grammar. You see, it's short for ne t'inquiète pas, don't worry. And as I've told you before, we often cut the ne in spoken French. So it became the informal t'inquiète pas. But really, in everyday life, we never use the affirmative form of this. So we don't even need the pas. And anyway, it would be inquiète-toi. So it's different already. And that's how we have a negative expression without the French words for negation. T'inquiète, don't worry, t'inquiète. But more importantly, congratulations. You've completed all 30 questions for today. How many did you get right? If you scored 6 or more in the first section and you feel like you struggled in with the others, you have a solid foundation in basic spoken French. You can already communicate at a beginner level, but you need to work on real spoken French expressions. If you scored 12 or more in the first 2 sections, you understand a good amount of spoken French, enough to reach at least an intermediate level. But you still have room to grow with everyday slang and informal vocabulary. If you scored 18 or more, congratulations, you have an advanced level. You are quite probably confident in written French already, but you also know quite a lot to navigate real everyday French conversation. Regardless of your score though, here is what's important. If many of these expressions were new to you, it shows you've been learning the wrong kind of French. Schools teach you to pass exams, not to understand what French people actually say in cafés, on the streets, or with friends. The gap between textbook French and real French is exactly what I help you bridge in my courses and videos. It's great to learn the rules of written French, but that's probably not your real goal. You want to communicate and speak with French people, make connections and have fun. For this, you need to practice everyday spoken French instead. And if you want to discover why traditional French teaching methods are holding you back, watch my next video, The French Secret Schools Don't Teach You. It reveals the specific spoken French patterns that will transform how native speakers perceive your French. Thanks for testing your French with me today, and I will see you in the next video. À bientôt!